Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. South Modern School and the English department say hello to everyone sees us and ask others to join our video. I designed this video to make your revision better, easier, shorter, and more comfortable than before. I know that you are afraid of exam and you are dreaming and thinking of getting the higher mark, and it's your right. But the material is too long and heavy at the same time. So for that reason, I'm here today to make your revision smaller and to put my hand with your hands to make the material shorter, deeper, and more comfortable. I will cooperate with you to put the most important point in Unit 5 with your material and with help your hard working. So let's start, but before we start, please bring your book, your student's book, your activity book, and your booklets, grammar and worksheet, and pick up your pencil to make your personal list and to underline the most important points in Unit 5. Unit 5 is our unit for this exam or the first exam. Let's start. If you look here, in each unit, we have many texts. These texts are also important, but there is a text, most important text. There is a text which is the most important text. In Unit 5, we have the 7 wonders of the world. This text is the most important text in Unit 5. The most important text is the 7 wonders of the world. As you see here, this is a selective paragraph from the texts. This is a selective paragraph. In this paragraph, I will give you advice how to read, how to study the whole text or the text in general. For example, if we read the text all together, read the text carefully, then answer the following questions, as we used to. We read the text silent reading, then I'll give you the chance to make the most important point in each paragraph. So, follow me, please. If you read the online editions of newspapers and magazines, you will know that internet publications frequently compile top lists. Okay, the 10 funnest film this year of the best sports cars ever are just a couple of examples that can be found. Okay, up to now it's okay. The ancient Greeks start the fashion with a list that has remained popular for centuries. Okay, the ancient Greeks start the fashion with a list that has remained popular for centuries. The 7 wonders of the world, the hanging gardens of Babylon. Okay, please follow me. We started with the most important point in this paragraph. The hanging gardens of Babylon. Let's start with the 7 wonders of the world. Here we have the most important point in this paragraph. The hanging gardens of Babylon. Number 2, the statue of Zeus, Artemis' sanctuary, the mausoleum of King Mausolus, and the Colossus of Rhodes, the lighthouse of Alexandria, and the Great Pyramid of Giza. These are very important places. We have to remember them after that. What about these places? They were all proclaimed to be the best construction in the world by Greek scholars. But what criteria did they use to decide what was a wonder and what was zent? Okay? In the first place, the Greek, give me a minute please. In the first place, the Greeks didn't use the word wonders, but talked about things to be seen. As the 7 monuments were all situated around the Mediterranean Sea, the list was a kind of guide for Greek tourists, possibly the world's first tourists. Furthermore, it wasn't impartial as 5 of the wonders were built by Greeks themselves, and the list is really a celebration of Greek building techniques. So, here we have, you have to pick up your pencil and put underline about the most important thing. In the first paragraph, The most important thing is the 7 wonders in ancient world. The 7 wonders in ancient world, as you see here. And in the second paragraph here, the most important point is the importance of these wonders. The importance of these wonders. Here, in the first place, the Greek didn't use the word wonder, but talked about things, what? To be seen. So the idea was developed. It was established in those days to be such as an advice. The Greek advised us to visit these places, just the most important, beautiful, or the most beautiful places in ancient world. But now, after many centuries, the idea was developed to what? To be the 7 wonders, as we can see here. Especially those monuments or places were situated around the Mediterranean Sea. What is the importance of these places which was or which were advised to visit? The importance in all these places were situated around the Mediterranean Sea. This list, what is the importance of list? The importance of list was, it was as a guide for Greek tourists, possibly the world's first tourists. Why? Because it was like the guide for many of tourists in those world. So, by this way, we can study the rest of the paragraphs in the 7 wonders of the world. You have to read each paragraph alone, and you have to underline the most important point. After that, paragraph by paragraph, you can answer the rest of the questions. Okay? Let's move to the question. As you see here, we have examples about the questions. Question number 1. If I ask you, what is the main idea of the text? As we read it and translate it, and put your notes beside your book or on your paper. What is the main of the text? The main idea is talking about, as you see here, talking about the story of the 7 wonders of the world. This is the main idea. In general, after you finished all the paragraphs, you can make a summary of each paragraph. But in general, the main idea is the importance, the story of 7 wonders of the world. Okay, question number 2. How did the ancient Greeks start the fashion? As I ask you, how did the idea start? How did the idea start? I can ask you this question in many ways, okay? Started the fashion with a list that has remained popular for centuries. As we said, the Greeks advised us to visit these places. But after many centuries, this idea was developed to what? To be an international vote. You can vote for the most important point. You can see, in your opinion, it is the most beautiful. It is an international celebration, okay? Question number 3. The list mentioned many places that were proclaimed, and we said, what do you mean by proclaimed? To be the best construction in the past. Mention 2 of these constructions. It is a very important question, by the way. If I ask you to mention 2 or 3 of these places, just give me 2 or 3 places from the ancient world. By the way, these are the ancient 7 wonders. We have a new 7 wonders nowadays, okay? The Hanging Gardens, the Great Pyramid, etc. Okay, the underlying pronoun refers to, in each question or in each exam, there is many questions. Question about the information in the paragraph, question about the meaning, question about the pronouns, and the most important question is about your critical thinking, about your opinion. I'll ask you about your opinion, you give me what do you think, what is your opinion, but you have to support. I cannot say you are wrong or you are right, but you have to support your answer. Okay, the underlined pronoun, you have to back to the paragraph to know where is it, the underlined pronoun. They refers to what? It refers to the ancient Greek. Okay. Find a word, this question for the vocabulary list. Find a word that has the same meaning as made and publicly proclaimed, and it is a question referred to the vocabulary list. So in each paragraph or in each text you have many questions. question to the paragraph information, text about the pronouns, about your opinion, and a question about the vocabulary. This is a critical thinking. Give me your opinion. When I say, what is your opinion, you have to start with a form, I think, or in my point of view, or I, etc. Why do you think some countries wanted to have their monuments and buildings including in the 7 wonders list? As we hear in Jordan, Petra was voted to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. Okay, what is the importance of this voting or this celebration? What about, or what is the advantage that will reflect on Petra or on Jordan in general, that Petra became one of the 7 wonders of the world? It is very big benefits, by the way. I think, please note, I think that some countries wanted to do that to keep their heritage and spread their culture as soon as identity. Identity means my culture, my personality, to know all the world where I am or where am I in this world. So you have to put in your mind, when I ask you about the critical thinking, you have to go to give me a complete answer, okay? This is the first question in each exam as we used to. Paragraph and many questions about the paragraph. Okay, let's jump to the second question. In general, we have a grammar in Unit 5. This grammar is about the passive and impersonal passive. As we used to, and we finished this rule, for example, Queen Rania opened the art gallery. This is an active sentence. This is an active sentence. I asked you to change from active into passive. And as we used to, we said that Queen Rania is a doer, okay? Is a doer. Opened is a verb, and the art gallery is a goal. So, in general, a doer or subject, verb, object. So, this is an active sentence. This is an active sentence. Okay. If you change it into passive, you have to know that I have to start or stay in the tense. You do not have to change the tense. So, what is the answer? The answer is art gallery was opened by Queen Rania. Look at the reorder of the words. The object became first, then verb to be, then verb past participle, then by, then the subject or the doer or the agent as we called it, okay? They are building a new house. They are building a new house. So I use in this sentence the present continuous. So what shall I do in this case? In this case, the object came first, then is being, then past participle. Okay, so the passive voice is very important rule in our in Unit 5 or in our material. You have to study it deeply and you have to concentrate the most important tense that we have passed. Marwan has cleaned the room. Okay, so the room has been cleaned by Marwan. This is a passive voice. What about the impersonal passive? Also, it is very important, but the usage is very important, and the form of the rule is very difficult from there and there, okay? For example, impersonal passive, they said that fish is good for brain. Look at the order of the words. They, subject number 1, said, verb number 1, that, okay, fish, subject number 2, is verb number 2. So this is an impersonal passive. And as we said before, impersonal passive deals with particular verbs such as assume, know, remember, claim, etc. Okay? Okay, change into impersonal passive. You have to study well to learn how to change from active to impersonal passive. Okay, there are 2 ways. First of all, it way. Okay, it was said. that, then I will write everything as it is in the first sentence. In the second sentence, experts believe that doing puzzles increases the intelligence. So there is a completely different between the first and the second. Why? Because in second sentence, after that, as we said, we cannot use that when we change. So what shall I do? I will do another thing. It is believed what this is. We have to drop that and instead use what? Use what? In one or in the second sentence, we have, excuse me, follow me please. In this way, is that in the first way, stay as it is. But in the second way, as we see here, follow me please. Follow me please. Experts say that women live longer than men. This is the second way. Can I keep that? No, we cannot keep that in the second way. We say, look, there is the second. Follow me please. The second subject is here. So when you see the second subject is coming at the first sentence, you know, or you have to use the second way. Okay? Women, what? Say it is simple present. So women are, okay, because it is plural. Women, not women. Okay, women are. Say, said. Sorry for bad writing, but it is the pen, not me. Okay, women are said. We reach to the that. I cannot keep that in this way. So I have to drop that, okay? And instead, I have to use to. Okay, after to, I have simple present. It is the verb number 2. So it is infinitive. I have to write longer than complete the rest of sentence. Okay, so once again, we have 2 ways to change from active into impersonal passive. Number 1, it is the it way, and number 2, it is the noun or the second subject way. In the first, I can keep that, but in the second way, I cannot keep that, and I have many change in the second part of the sentence. Okay, this is question number 2. Let's move to question number 3. Question number 3, it is related to the vocabulary list. It is very important. You have to memorize and you have to write your vocabulary in your notebook and train more and more. For example, poll, disapproval, heritage, scholars. These are some words that we have passed in Unit 5. For example, use the following words to complete the sentences. You have to select or to take the suitable word and put it in the suitable sentence to give you a meaningful meaning or a very useful meaning. Petra, let's start. Petra is one of our most important poll? No, I don't think it is the right answer. Disapproval? Also no. Heritage? Yeah, heritage. Okay, so Petra is one of our most important heritage. So this is number 1. Okay, let's jump to the second sentence. We are doing a weekly on the president. Weekly poll? Yeah, poll. Poll. Okay, so this is number 2. Number 3. I could sense her scholars. I have 2 words, disapproval and scholars. So disapproval, it is the suitable word. I could sense her disapproval. This A-double-P, approval. Okay. The last one, and I have the last word. He went on to become a scholar. He went on to become a scholar, or scholar without S here, without S. Okay, so this is question number 3. In general, let's make quickly revision. the most important question is the text. I will give you a text or selective paragraph from the text. You have to answer the question that follow the text. Number 2, we have 2 rules in Unit 5, passive voice and impersonal passive. And the question number 3 will be covered the meaning in general that we passed in vocabulary list. You have to write to train a lot about these vocabularies. Okay, let's move to another important question, which is editing. We translated a lot of text and we mentioned a lot of important things in these paragraphs. I ask you about your opinion and etc. etc. And we cannot forget the editing. What do you mean by editing? Correcting the mistakes. I'll give you a short paragraph, and in this paragraph there is grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, maybe punctuation mistakes, okay? You have to correct them. Look at the board, please. Imagine that you are an editor in Jordan Times and you are asked to edit the following lines. There are 2 grammatical mistakes or grammar mistakes, I can say, 2 spelling mistakes, 2 punctuation mistakes. Find these mistakes and correct them. Here, I underlined the mistake. You have to just correct the mistake. For example, since 1972, a large number. Where is the bad thing in this word? Is it right? No, it is not right. So number here, we can replace O with U. Yeah, number. Okay, this is the right spelling. Of important cultural sites has. How can I say sites and has? Okay, this is a plural and we have to use has to the singular just. So has, I have to replace it with have. Okay, what else? Be protecting. This is what? The sentence starts with something like cultural sites. Sites, this is thing. So I cannot deal it with as it is a man or a woman or a girl. So it must be ED. Protected. Okay? So, by UNESCO. This is a sentence. Why is the exclamation mark? I cannot use the exclamation mark. Okay? I have to use dot. Just dot. Okay, the idea to protect them had been inspired by international cooperation during the Nubia campaign in Egypt, 1960s, when monuments such as Temple of Ramses II were moved by local and international. Where is the mistake in the word international? I cannot see any mistake. No, there is a mistake. I can reorder the letters by R-A-A-R like that, okay? International, okay? You have to think deeply when you try to find the mistakes, okay? So international, not A-N, but N-A, okay? National experts, okay? What should I put at the end of the text? Dot. So these are the mistakes, okay? You have to study well and you have to concentrate when you think about the mistakes. Okay, let's jump to the last question. In each exam, we have to write. Nearly every week, there is a homework about writing. Write about Petra, about something happened with you, and the last writing about you face a situation made you happy, as I remember. So, writing, these are very important composition and very important topics. You have to train and you have to practice. Write a composition of about 80 words on one of the following, just one. Choose one and write a short composition. Some people think that schools today are not similar to those in the past. What is your opinion? Some people think that schools today are not similar to those in the past. Write an essay. Write an essay, not paragraph, not short paragraph, essay. Okay, comparing schools today with the schools in the past. If you choose this topic, it's okay, but you should have many information about schools and how to compare now with the past. Number two, UNESCO is an example of an organization that organizes internet campaigns to compile popularity lists. And as we used to, there is a topic or there is a composition related to the title unit. So you have to put in your mind, there is a topic or there is a composition about your unit or about the title of your unit, which is the 7 wonders of the world. So these are the most important points, my lovely students. You have to focus when you study for your first exam. Please study hard, concentrate, and try to study deeply. This is your teacher, Wafaa Allosh. Thank you very much.